man, I can't believe I have to make this video. Oh boy. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Yami Noob, back at it once again, riding our giveaway Yamaha R1 here, and it is a fitting motorcycle because today I'm going to be talking about starting on a 1000cc motorcycle. My thoughts and opinions on that, because although there might be a contingency among you who are reasonable people, well-mannered individuals who understand a little bit about motorcycling and know that starting on something like an R1 is objectively a really bad idea, I still get comments and DMs every single day of my life asking me whether they can start at an R1 or something like that. So today we are going to be talking about why you shouldn't start on a 1000cc bike, why it's a bad idea. I'm going to tell you everything I know about this topic so that I can maybe dissuade some of you from making a very bad decision. So before we get started, as I'm rolling here on this motorcycle, this is our giveaway Yamaha R1. You go to yaminoob.co, find out how to win this thing. It's actually being given away in a very short amount of time. September 15th is the final day of the giveaway, so make sure you are tuned in for that and locked in and got your entry set up for this machine, because it is a spicy meatball. Awesome motorcycle, but not awesome for beginners. So let's talk about this, man. Oh my god, let's talk about this, because I keep getting comments all the time. Oh, Yami, if I put it in low power mode, can't I get 1000cc as my first bike? No. No, don't do it. Look, I don't care how well-mannered your right wrist is. I don't care how responsible you are not going to learn the fundamentals of motorcycling on a 1000cc motorcycle as your first one. There is literally no reason to get such a powerful motorcycle as your first bike. There really is no reason to do it. I cannot think of a single reason why you would get a 200 horsepower 1000cc super bike as your first motorcycle. That to me reeks of ego. It reeks of someone who has not done any type of research on this topic and has just decided to willy-nilly go and get the bike that looks and sounds cool. I have heard countless stories of guys going out, getting a 1000cc bike as their first one, and literally crashing it within 1 week. It happens all the time. Now, why is that? It's because these bikes are literally built as competition racing machines. These are homologated motorcycles. They are literally race bikes with headlights, and they are designed to do one thing and one thing only, and that is go around a racetrack really fast and go as fast as possible. That's literally the only reason they exist. Just getting started into the sport of this lifestyle, this hobby, whatever you want to call it, there's so much time. You have so much time to get into something cooler later down the road. You have so much time to get the bike you want. If maybe an R3 or a 650 isn't the bike you want to start out with, you have years and years ahead of you. So there's no reason to jump on something like this. The other thing is, again, fundamentals when it comes to riding a 1000cc bike. If you're jumping on this motorcycle, I can't even fathom being a beginner and trying to manhandle a 200 horsepower motorcycle around a parking lot. I remember my R3 was already intimidating enough, just trying to do low speed stuff on that bike, which at this point, stage of the game, with all the experience I have, is a super easy bike to ride. Something like this is so much more intimidating, given its posture, its ergonomics, just its manners in general. I just don't get why you would hinder yourself like that and just put yourself at a bad, position like that. It just doesn't make any sense. You could choose to start on something that would set you up for success, absolutely set you up for a good riding experience, a good time on your motorcycle. And why would you choose something that's going to make your life more difficult, That's the thing I want to really drive home here, is choosing a 1000cc motorcycle as your first. Again, terrible idea. But if you do it, you're literally just setting yourself up for failure. You're probably not going to get into riding the best way you possibly could. You're not going to enjoy and explore your motorcycle. You probably won't have much fun riding either. You're probably going to be scared shitless of this thing if this is your first time riding a motorcycle. Look what this thing can do, man. That wasn't even full gas. You want to jump on something like this when you just started out? Why? Why? And so an argument I hear a lot as well is, oh, Yami, I could just put it in a low power mode and I can learn with it. And then when I'm ready, I'll put it in the big power mode and I'll get along fine with it. Look, are you really going to sit there and pretend like you're able to ignore the devil on your shoulder telling you to put this thing in a full power mode when literally all you have to do is press a button and change the mode? No way, dude. No way are you going to keep this thing in low power mode until you feel like you're ready to jump up to big power. You are definitely going to put it in low power mode, scare yourself, and then scare yourself even more putting it into big power mode. And honestly, even in low power mode, this thing still makes more power than a 600. It's insane how fast these new age leader bikes are, and you really have no business riding one of these as a first motorcycle. It's a really bad idea. And I want to show you guys this here. I want to put this thing into low power mode and tell you how it feels. So let's do that really quick. I think we got to be fully stopped to do that. Most of my motorcycles are not as technologically advanced as the Yamaha R1. Yes, we slow down here. Well, let's put it in D mode, which is low power mode, right? Oh, so it's just like a little, it's like an R3 now, right, Yami? I could just ride this bike like an R3 and learn on it. Yeah, no, why would you do that? Oh my God, I can already tell all the comments that are gonna be on this video. You're like, oh dude, I wasn't a pussy. I was a real big man and I got an R1 as my first bike so I could do whatever I want. And I do really enjoy the talking point of people being like, oh, the bike only goes as fast to your right wrist. Yes, if you're an experienced rider, yeah, you can very gently maneuver and tweak the throttle so that you understand what's going on and this and that. But a beginner doesn't have those sensibilities yet. And the margin for error on something like this is super small compared to something like an R3 or even a 650 class bike. This thing will absolutely tear you to shreds if you're not careful. See if we can create a little bit of a gap between these cars and myself to show you guys what low power on the R1 is like. Keep in mind this is in miles per hour here on the readout, so for all my international audience, don't think that this is kph. This is still miles per hour. So let's bang it through in first gear here, shall we? Yeah, go have fun with that as your first motorcycle. Second gear, quote unquote low power mode, right? Like it literally feels like a 600. That is so inappropriate for a beginner. And again, if you just pull off and flip one little switch, you have 200 horsepower at your disposal. That is not okay, guys. Please do not start on these bikes. This is me imploring you to not start on one of these machines, man. It is so inappropriate for a beginner rider. Honestly, it's a real bummer that in America we don't have a tiered licensing system, because I think we could save people a lot of headache, a lot of hassle, a lot of trouble by not letting people get a big, bad, powerful motorcycle as their first one. I know you guys might say that that's a lack of freedom, but honestly, it impinges on other people's freedoms to allow idiots on the road with super high-powered motorcycles doing whatever they want. That's a really unsafe situation for everybody on the road. That's not just one person going out and, you know, Darwinism taking its toll. You're endangering other people as well when you allow that to happen. Also, there's this weird ego-driven idea that you need a bike that you can quote-unquote grow into. I have never understood that concept, because any motorcycle you buy, you can grow into and appreciate and learn and get good with. It's not a case where you need something with 200 horsepower to grow into. And honestly as well, you know, my motorcycles that I have all for my personal purposes, you know, I have a 250 dirt bike. I have a street motorcycle at 75 horsepower. My race bike is about 128, you know. 200 horsepower is an ungodly amount of power. Maybe you guys who are just getting into motorcycling, maybe you're used to the car world or something like that, and maybe 200 horsepower, you're like, oh, a GTI has that much horsepower. This thing is faster than a Bugatti Veyron, okay? Like, it is really fast. And that's not something you want to play around with when you don't fully understand how to control a motorcycle yet. I'd say take the ego out of it, man. If you are a type of dude that is thinking about something like this as your first bike because you live in America and we have these crazy rules that people can just do whatever they want with motorcycling. Take a second and think about what it is that you're doing. You are taking a tool that is basically designed for expert level and professional racers to use on track and really rip around with. And you are saying to yourself, yes, with no training, with no accreditation, with nothing to my name, I can ride this machine competently and safely. No way, dude. No way. You're not going to do it. So really think carefully about it, think carefully about your ego. Think about why it is that you've decided that you're getting an R1. What is it about it to you? You'd say, yes, I'm capable of doing that. I can ride this very fast motorcycle competently and safely. Why not get something else? Start on something smaller. Virtually all experienced motorcyclists will tell you the same thing. It is not just old Papa Yam jumping on this video and pulling out some controversial opinion. I've heard literally so many experienced motorcyclists say the same thing that I'm saying, and I say that as an experienced motorcyclist. You don't want to start on something like this. Trust me, even in low power mode, it is way too fast for a beginner rider. It's also just uncomfortable for a beginner rider. It's kind of heavy for a beginner rider. It's overall just a little bit ungainly for someone to learn the craft of riding with. I honestly wouldn't recommend any fully fared super sport style motorcycle for anybody to start with, just because they're a little harder to ride than something like an upright naked bike, So guys, I hope you heed my warning here. I hope you listen to an experienced motorcyclist who's telling you that it is not the best idea to get something like this as your first motorcycle. It really, really isn't. Don't let your ego drive your decisions. That's a quick way to get hurt, and that's a quick way to get yourself into trouble. Get an appropriate motorcycle and have yourself a fun time and learn the craft of riding and enjoy the journey. Another comment I see really frequently is, oh, Yami, but that's just the R1, right? Like, that's just a modern day leader bike that's that fast. It's not like, an older generation leader bike is going to be that fast. Is that appropriate? Can I get that? And the answer to that is even more so no, because this thing, at the very least, it has rider modes and technology and things that are going to save your bacon if you do end up doing something stupid. But a old school leader bike is just a big old engine, a cable actuated throttle, and best of luck. That's literally it. They are extraordinarily aggressive and very unforgiving of bad riding habits, whereas this is kind of like a giant scooter with its bi-directional quick shifter and this and that. It's a pretty easy bike to get along with if you're experienced, but a classic leader bike is going to be even more hard to handle. So again, guys, it's literally this easy to go from quote-unquote low power mode to high power mode. Yep, now I'm in high power mode. It was that easy. Why would you want that as a first bike? Why?
Oh, didn't see you there. Why don't you watch this video right over here while you're at it? Because this one's over, actually. There's nothing left to see. But if you click this one right here, you could keep watching your sweet Papa Yam on video. Here on the internet, on YouTube. Click the video. Do it.